Welcome to View from the Top of the Goalpost. It's me, your host, Diesel, and I'm sure you're wondering why it's just me starting out this episode. And where's Chad? Well, as of recording, Chad is being the best bandit he can be, and he's with his little Bluey at Bluey Live. So, Chad also has a little trip he's got going on later this week, too. Maybe he'll tell you about it. Maybe he won't. I don't know. I don't know what he's planning on his record because I haven't seen it yet. But I'm here to make my picks this week. Chad will be here after I make my picks to make his picks. So you're still going to get your doses of Chad and Diesel both in this episode. But let's get down to brass tacks and talk about some of the maintenance stuff here. Last week, neither of us picked very well. Um, I did a little better than Chad, but I went 8-8 for the second week in a row. And Chad went an abysmal. Sorry, Chad, but I mean, your record was abysmal. 4-12. I'm pretty sure that's the worst record he's had in his adult life picking football games. He's not faring too well this year for his season total. Chad is at 18-30, 12 games under 500. He's only picking games correctly at a 37.5% rate. You pick it up, buddy. You got this, though. This is your week. I believe in you. My record, on the other hand, is 27-21. I have a 56 and 0.3% correct percentage rate. I need to pick it up as well, but probably not because I say it every year, but it's so hard to pick these games. I don't know why. I think you get a handle on it, but just gets harder and harder every year. But shall we get into it? Let's pick some games. So starting off with Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime Video, we have the 1-2 Dallas Cowboys traveling to the 1-2 New York Giants. Dallas is favored by 6 with a 45-point over-under, and the fan differential has Dallas at 88%. And I guess I can't pass it off to Chad and ask him who he's got, and I'll just say who I have. I have Dallas in this game. I don't think that New York is very good. Yes, they did get the win last week, and yes, Dallas has gotten smoked its last two games, but Dallas needs a redemption. They are better than what they've been playing, and I think this is a good game for them to get right. It does worry me that it is a division game, but I saw this game last Thursday. It was on the schedule for Thursday Night Football, and even before either of these teams played, it's like, oh, why did they schedule this game for prime time? But I got Dallas. I think Dallas will cover the 6 points. Probably win by 10, in my opinion. I'm going to go there, going to win 30-20. That is my prediction for this game. Moving on. Sunday at noon, we have the 0-3 Cincinnati Bengals traveling to the 1-2 Carolina Panthers. If you would have asked me at the beginning of the season, week 4, in this matchup, one team's going to have 1 win, one team's going to have 0 wins, I would have said it was the other way around. And I'm sure you would have said that too. Last week, the Red Rifle made Bryce Young look even worse than he already did by getting benched the week before. Andy Dalton just came out, I want to say out of nowhere, but I mean, he's Andy Dalton. He's been doing this a lot. He comes from team to team and shows off a little bit, and then he's like Temo. I wish Chad were here so he could help me out with who I'm trying to think of. Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's a Temo Ryan Fitzpatrick, because Ryan Fitzpatrick would last about 3 or 4 weeks before he fizzle out. You get 1, maybe 2 weeks of the Red Rifle before you're like, ugh, give me Bryce Young again. I don't know if that's going to happen because Bryce Young was looking pretty bad. But that being said, we got to talk about Cincinnati. They had an awful showing on Monday Night Football against the Washington Commanders. The Commanders did look really good, but Cincinnati at home, they did not play good. 0-3 in this division where Pittsburgh is 3-0. You got a hungry Baltimore who's 1-2, and I mean we can count the Browns out, but you've dug yourself a hole, and I know that Cincinnati usually digs themselves a hole, but I don't know if they're going to be able to get out of this one. And if they lose to Carolina, season's over. Season is over. I have Cincinnati winning this game because they need it. And I know I said that last week, but damn, do they need this win? Because if they don't, if Kitty does not go meow, then there's going to be some problems in Cincinnati. Zach Taylor, he won't make it through the season. Jamar Chase, you might as well not even sign him. You might as well trade him at the deadline and get a first round draft pick, maybe two. Who knows? I would think Cincinnati's got this one, though. And moving on to the next game at noon on Sunday, we have the 1-2 Denver Broncos traveling to the 2-1 New York Jets. The Jets are favored by 7.5 with a 38.5 over under, and the fan differential has the Jets at 93%. The Broncos last week went into Tampa Bay, and Tampa, it was a lot. It was really hot. Baker really got baked in that sun and did not play very well. But hey, Broncos might actually have a defense. The Broncos might actually win some games this year. But then again, you got the Jets, who last week I should have. That's one of the games I got right last week. I should have picked the Jets over the Patriots. I was foolish by thinking that Aaron Rodgers isn't still Aaron Rodgers. I watched it for damn near 20 years, and he got me again. But I won't be fooled again. And that's a song from the Rolling Stones, I think. Before I embarrass myself any further, I got the Jets this week because Aaron Rodgers is really good. The defense needs to play better, but Breece Young, Braylon Allen is a nice 1-2 combo at running back, and Garrett Wilson's good. And I mean, Lazard plays best when Aaron Rodgers is playing, so I got the Jets in this game. And moving on, next game, noon, Sunday. We have the 2-1 Philadelphia Eagles traveling to the 2-1 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Philly is favored by 2.5 with a 45-point over-under and a 70% fan differential going with Philly. I'm going against the fans this week. In this game, I got Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, yeah, they laid an egg last week. I don't think that's the team. I don't think that's them. Every team lays an egg from time to time. I think it makes you better. You learn from that situation. And if you lay an egg 2 weeks in a row, well, then we know you're a chicken and you're not a football team. I do think that Tampa Bay being at home has the advantage, and Philadelphia isn't a good team. They definitely, in my opinion, should have lost to the Falcons. Nick Sirianni, or no, not the Falcons. They did lose to the Falcons Monday Night Football. To the Saints, Nick Sirianni is making bad decision after bad decision. His seat is getting hotter by the game. And yes, they did win last week, and they are 2-1, but they won in spite of Nick Sirianni, because he tried to lose that game for him. They are lucky they were going up against Dennis Allen, who also isn't a very good coach in strategy. Yeah, I like Tampa Bay. I'm still on Baker, and I don't think Philly has played very well. I think they're dysfunctional. They're hurt. Is Devon Smith going to play? Smith going to play? Is Brown going to play? Saquon Barkley is their whole team. I mean, Hurts has been doing all right, but I'm just not feeling the Eagles. I got the Buccaneers. They're going to win this game. So, as Chad would say, put the creamsicle lock on Tampa Bay. And moving on to the next game at noon on Sunday, we have the 3-0 Minnesota Vikings traveling to the Green Bay mother loving Packers. The Packers are favored by 2.5 with a 43.5 point over under, and 60% fan differential is in favor of Minnesota. And I'm going to tell you who I'm going with. I'm going with the Packers. And here's why. I think Minnesota is a sham. I think that their 3-0 record is fool's gold. And you say, what do you mean? They just stomped Houston last week. Well, I mean, tell you who they've played so far. They've played the Giants, who I think is bottom of the barrel in the NFL. They played a depleted 49ers team, and they played a Texans team whose defense isn't very great. And like I said at the beginning of the season, I think that we're going to have a sophomore slump from CJ Stroud and D'Amico Ryans as head coach. I think that it's going to affect them more early on, and towards the end of the season, they will pick it back up. This is a very winnable division. If they don't win this division, then it's a really bad slump for them. But that being said, the Packers haven't really played great teams either. The best team they played is Philadelphia, and like I just got done saying, I'm not really a believer in Philly, but I am a believer in that Packers defense. 8 sacks last week, 2 picks, already have 7 interceptions, which is the same amount of interceptions they had in all of 2023. McKinney has already gotten 3 picks. He's worth every penny the Packers paid for him. And in fact, they probably underpaid for him. I like this Packers team a lot. I like this defense a lot. Jordan Love hasn't been announced to play yet, but it's looking more likely that he will play. And even if Malik Willis starts this game, I still like the Packers because he's done everything right so far. He's done everything they've asked him to do, and he listens to what they tell him to do. And obviously, it's win games. That's what they tell him to do. I got the Packers in this game. I think the Packers are going to win this game by 13. I got it 27-17. That'll be 10. 30-17 is the final score of this game. Packers win. Jordan Love, Malik Willis, doesn't matter because that defense is sick. Next game we have is at noon on Sunday. The 0-3 Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the 2-1 Houston Texans. Houston is favored by 7, 45.5 point over under with 95% of the fan differential on Houston. And I'm on Houston too. After Monday night, I think we all just got to admit Jacksonville is not good. I was wrong about that one. I'm a man. I admit it. I was wrong about Jacksonville. I'm off the bandwagon. Doug Pearson's probably got to go. They shouldn't have spent that money on Trevor Lawrence. The Cons are too busy focused on AEW to run a competent football team, apparently. I got Houston in this game because even though they're on a sophomore slump, they are better than Jacksonville. Jacksonville doesn't even know what they're doing right now. They're all over the place. And I am also going to admit I'm wrong about the Bills. The Bills did just absolutely obliterate Jacksonville on Monday Night Football, but I think it's more because Jacksonville's bad than because the Bills are good. Houston's going to win this game. 7 points isn't enough. I think 2-3 possession game easily. I am moving on to Sunday at noon. We have the 1-2 Los Angeles Rams traveling to the 1-2 Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears are favored by 2.5 with a 41-point over under. Fan differential, however, is favoring LA, and so am I. And I'm going to say just for one simple reason, coaching. I think that the reason the Bears are 1-2 is because of their horrible coaching. I think that you look at Justin Fields and everything that I said about him last year, I feel like I'm being vindicated watching him play in Pittsburgh, as every week he's been getting better and better and better. He has better coaching. I think that he was never the problem. I think that they're just setting Caleb Williams up to fail. I believe that the Bears aren't very good, and they're going to have a tough time winning games. And I know the Rams are hurt, and I know they don't have very many, but they still have Williams, who is running the ball last week against San Francisco like a madman. They still have Stafford, who's giving it his all. And like I said, they have Sean McVay, one of the best coaches in the league. He's going to be able to come up with a game plan to beat the Bears, even though the Bears have a defense. They're just not going to be able to score points. Don't even though, yeah, I mean, you're gonna say, oh, but Diesel, Caleb Williams threw for the most yards last week, 300 and blah 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 blah. Yeah, I get it. He also threw for some picks and he fumbled. He just he had so many overthrows. No one's talking about how many times he had a guy streaking down the field and he overthrew him by 10, 15 yards. Caleb Williams is not that guy, and he needs a system that supports him, and Chicago is not that system. I have the Rams in this game. Moving on to the next game, Sunday at noon, we have the 2-1 New Orleans Saints traveling to the 1-2 Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta is favored by 1.5 with a 42-point over/under and a 58% fan differential. I have Atlanta in this game because it's in Atlanta. Everybody knows the history between these two teams. And if you don't, go to SB Nation, Secret Base, whatever they're called, I don't remember anymore. They have a great, like, 6-7 hour retrospective on this rivalry, and it is amazing. Well, it's more on the Atlanta Falcons, but it covers this entire rivalry, and it is really amazing. I wouldn't be surprised if they split this year, both win the home games. That's why I have Atlanta. I think these teams are very evenly matched. Their defenses are very good. They both have quarterbacks that are playing good. Derek Carr was playing better week 1 and 2. He didn't play great last week. And Kirk Cousins seems like he's not back yet from his Achilles injury, but he's still there. I think that this is going to be one of those games that comes right down to whoever has the ball last. And I like the Falcons winning this game. And it's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be by a field goal. I don't know if it's going to be less by a field goal, but I think it's going to be Koo who makes the winning kick to win it for the Falcons. Last game at noon on Sunday, we see the 3-0 Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to the 1-2 Indianapolis Colts. The Steelers are favored by 2 with a 40-point over/under, and 82% of the fan differential is in favor of Pittsburgh. I am taking Pittsburgh in this game because that defense is nasty. I think the Packers proved that if you're able to shut down the rush and you put Richardson under pressure, you can make good things happen. Justin Fields, as I said, has been improving week in and week out, and I see him getting even better. Beginning of the season, I said that this was going to be the first year Mike Tomlin didn't have a record that was at least a losing record. He's never had a losing record before. I said that this would be the first year he had a losing record. And at this point, it's going to be pretty hard. I mean, it's still very possible, but I think that Pittsburgh is a little better than we all thought they were. Pittsburgh, I think, is going to go 4-0. Indy's going to be 1-3. And the worst division in football, AFC South. Moving on to 3:05 on Sunday, we see the 2-1 Washington Commanders traveling to the 1-2 Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals are favored by 3.5 with a 50.5-point over/under, and 63% of the fan differential is on Arizona. Look, I really wanted to take Washington here. They have been impressing me the first 3 weeks of the season, and I picked Jaden Daniels to be my offensive rookie of the year. The only thing that puts me on Arizona, just a little what tips the scales, is the travel. Washington going cross country from East Coast all the way to the Southwest. I think that Arizona has an explosive team. I just hope that this game is good. I'll be rooting for Washington. I am a fan of what they're doing over there. And Just don't think that they're going to have enough to beat Arizona in this game. But wouldn't it be something if maybe both of these teams snuck in as a wild card, and who knows? Who knows what either of these teams could do? I am really enjoying watching Jane Daniels, though. I can't wait to see him progress. Obviously, in my opinion, the offensive rookie of the year is coming from a player out of this game, either Jane Daniels or Marvin Harrison Jr. He Harrison just needs more opportunities, and that might happen this week because we do know that the Washington defense has a bunch of holes, and I think Arizona can also exploit that. But moving on to 305 on Sunday, we see the 1-2 New England Patriots traveling to the 1-2 San Francisco 49ers. 49ers are favored by 10 with a 39.5 point over under. 96% of the fan differential is on the 49ers, and so is your good old buddy Diesel. I think that even though the 49ers are depleted, I I don't think Gerard Mayo is sending good messages to his team because it really felt like he gave up at the end of that game against the Jets last Thursday. And yes, I know that the chances of them winning weren't high, but I mean, come on, let the rookie score a touchdown. Just do it. Uh, I think San Francisco is kind of like Cincinnati. They need to win this game. They have the Seattle Seahawks are leading the division at 3-0. The Rams are hurt right now. This is a good time to take advantage. And as we just talked, the Arizona Cardinals are on the rise. San Francisco, this is the first time in a few years where they're not the kings of the NFC West anymore. And I think everyone's starting to catch up to them. And this is a good game for them. It has a team traveling cross country and a team that is struggling right now. I think that this is a good game to get right, get 2-2, and maybe get yourselves on the right track again. I got San Francisco in this game. And now we got our first of two games at 325 on Sunday. This one sees the 1-2 Cleveland Browns traveling to the 1-2 Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are favored by 37 point over under. 51% of the fan differential is on Cleveland. And I have no idea who's going to win this game. This game's a toss-up. I'm going with Vegas because they're at home. I think Cleveland lost to the Giants last week. Vegas lost to the Panthers last week. I don't even know where to go with this game. They're talking about benching Gardner Minshew already. The Browns are struggling. That defense that was supposed to be great is not looking so good. I'm picking Vegas, honestly, because they're at home. That is the only reason. I don't have anything else for you. I'm moving on. We're going to the final afternoon game, and that is the 3-0 Kansas City Chiefs traveling to the 2-1 Los Angeles Chargers. The Chiefs are favored by 8 with a 39-point over-under, and 90% of the fan differential is on the Chiefs. And so am I. I got the Chiefs winning this game. LA, the other LA team, are also just littered with injuries, and their biggest piece is injured in Justin Herbert. And he was injured coming into the season. Maybe it wasn't in their best interest to put him out there right away. Maybe he had the Liz Frank injury. Maybe they should have let him heal just a little bit longer and he had that ankle sprain. Well, now he's aggravated that ankle sprain, and it's just I am not high on the Chargers to begin with, and I know Chad is, and I know that Chad's probably even going to pick the Chargers in this game still because his boy Tay is the backup quarterback there. I just think the Chiefs are going to dodge another bullet, and they're going to start 4-0. But I do think that this is going to catch up with them. Their schedule is a mess going forward. As we mentioned previously on this show, they play every day of the week this season except for Tuesday. So it's a scheduling nightmare. So I think everything's going to catch up to them, but not this week. The Chiefs are going to win and they're going to start out 4-0. Moving on to Sunday night football. Waiting all day for Sunday night. And we do got a good game this Sunday. We have the 3-0 Buffalo Bills traveling to the 1-2 Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore is favored by 2.5 with a 46.5 point over under. 55% of the fan differential is on Buffalo. And I know you know my famous rule, do not pick against Buffalo. But Buffalo can't win them all, can they? I don't think so. I have Baltimore in this game. I think I mean, yeah, they almost blew it against the Cowboys last week. They had a big lead and let the Cowboys back in it, and luckily, time ran out and they walked away with the victory, their first victory of the season. I think that's going to be a confidence builder. Maybe the Bills will rest on their laurels after stomping the Jaguars on Monday Night Football. Uh, I think this is going to be a good game either way. I think this is a game that we will probably see again in the AFC side of the playoffs, but probably in Buffalo. I do have Baltimore winning this game because it's time for them to turn the tide and get back right. Vegas still at this point at 1-2 still has Baltimore winning the AFC North, and if they want to win the AFC North, they got to beat some good teams, and Buffalo is one of them, and I think they're going to do it. This week we have another doubleheader on Monday Night Football. Not a fan of the doubleheaders on Monday Night Football. I like the primetime games just to be singular, but they don't listen to me. They didn't ask me. But we have the first game at 6:30 on Monday night. The 0-3 Tennessee Titans traveling to the 1-2 Miami Dolphins. Miami is favored by 1 with a 36.5 point over under. And we have the fan differential 68% on Miami. I am taking Miami as well because Tennessee is just not good. They don't have an offensive line. They couldn't move the ball against the Packers on the ground at all. Their defense that's supposed to be great couldn't stop Malik Willis, who people still don't think is that good, which must mean the Titans aren't that good. And I know that we have Skylar Thompson as the starter for the Dolphins. And I know that they didn't look very good on Sunday either, but they didn't also get the ball to Tyreek. They need to get the ball to Tyreek, and they'll be fine. They should win this game. This is a very winnable game, but I can also see them losing because they're a mess as well with injuries. Too many injuries this year. Too many injuries. I got Miami winning this game by more than 1, too. And finally, our last game of the week at 7:15 on Monday night. This is the game I'll be watching. It's not me. We have the 3-0 Seattle Seahawks traveling to the 2-1 Detroit Lions. The Lions are favored by 3.5 with a 47 point over under, and 81% of the fan differential are on the Lions. Diesel's not, though. Diesel knows that Seattle has Detroit's number, and I don't know what it is, but it seems like, especially when they play in Detroit, Seattle always comes away with that victory. Just like last year, they had the crazy fumble into the end zone, game went into overtime. Looked like, in my opinion, Tyler Lockett also might have fumbled out of the end zone in overtime when he scored the winning touchdown. That's here nor there. They didn't look at it. They said it was good, whatever. I don't know. Seattle won. I think that Seattle is a good team. I don't think they're a great team. They're not going to win every game this season, but I do think they're a good team. I think Mike McDonald has got them playing really well. I think that Baltimore is really missing Mike McDonald on the defensive side because look at how well the Seattle defense has played throughout this season. Legion of Boom 2.0. I think they're going to put some pressure on good old Goff, and I think that they're going to get this win. I wouldn't be surprised if this game went into overtime again. And this time, unlike 2 weeks ago where Detroit got the ball first, went down the field and scored, I am predicting Seattle to get the ball first, go down the field, and score a touchdown with DK Metcalf. Win the game. Sayonara. Seattle 4-0. Detroit 2-2. Packers 3-1. Vikings 3-1. Packers leading the NFC North. Boom! There goes the dynamite. Those were my picks. I don't really have much more to say, except I'm excited for football next week. Hopefully, Chad and I will be back together. Chad, I hope that you really enjoyed Bluey Live, and you are one of the best bandits that I know. But I don't have much else to say, so I'm going to pass it on to my co-host and my good buddy. Everybody, welcome, Chad.
Thanks, Diesel. Yeah, as you can see, I am on vacation. And yes, this is obviously a fake background, but I thought it'd just be fun to put this on. So I am sorry for the video quality of what is going on. And let's get into some picks. But before that, I lied. Let me look back on how my locks went last week. So, folks, last week we went 6-6, which isn't bad, but a lot of things didn't go great for us. So, Thursday Night Football has been a bad night for us. Stevenson did not get over 67.5 yards because Patriots offense looked like garbage, which I thought would happen, and that's why I didn't want to bet the game. But screwed that one up. We also got wrong the suck at Carolina lock because Carolina won against the Vegas Raiders. We got wrong the Raptor lock of the week because Atlanta should have won that game if the Zebras weren't against them. The Emerald lock of the game went wrong because Miami... they should be kicking field goals, folks. I'm sorry, you're not going to get either hot takes from Diesel or I this week because we're having a crazy week. So you're not getting them. But my just aggression kills this year, folks. You got to just kick some field goals. But we got the Miami game wrong. We also got the Tampa Bay game wrong because Bo Nix became Bo Lever. And I was really... before the season, in on Bo Nix. He made me off of him for the first 2 weeks, and maybe I'm back on him this week. Probably not. We also got wrong Houston, who lost to Minnesota, and those are all the games we got wrong. But then, for our 6 right games of the week, we got our heart lock of the week because the Los Angeles Rams pulled it out. And I didn't think it was going to happen, but Art Lock, it's very strong. We also got the last chance lock with Indianapolis pulling it out against the Chicago Bears. And I have to say pulling it out because it wasn't great. We also got the golden lock of the week, right, with the Baltimore Ravens winning against the Dallas Cowboys. Once again, way too close after dominating most of that game. And then... our greatest friend of the year this year has been Monday Night Football, where I got all 3 of our locks of the week right, with Buffalo covering their 5.5 points, the over-hitting in the Cincinnati and Washington Commanders game, and also, I told you to bet that over on yards for Mr. Jamar Chase, because he crushed it. Because it was set at 85.5, and he had well over 100 yards. So 6-6 this week with our locks. I could do better, but I will do better this week. So let's go. All right. So first game of the week, obviously Thursday Night Football. is the Dallas Cowboys taking on the New York Giants. I am not going to talk about this game much. I have the Dallas Cowboys winning this game. And with my Thursday night lock of the week, which has not been great, folks, and I'm sorry. And if this one doesn't go right, then just bet against me every time I pick something on Thursday Night Football. But I'm taking the Cowboys minus 5.5 because, yeah, the Giants might have won this last week against a bad team, being the Cleveland Browns. But no. The Cowboys, they're not a great team this year, but they are way better than the Giants. So, yes, give me the Dallas Cowboys to win this game. Jumping into Sunday. P.S. I really hate having to tell you guys what game is going into it. And usually I would just edit this to make it so Diesel was still the one saying what every game was. But I don't have the time this week because, once again, folks, I'm on vacation. So I am sorry for the just chaoticness of this week's video. Sunday at noon, we will start with the New Orleans Saints taking on the Atlanta Falcons. And this is the bronze lock of the week. Give me the Atlanta Falcons. Yes, it's a short week. Yes, both of these defenses know how to play some ball. And yes, I know all of you aren't going to believe in Atlanta as much as I am. That's fine. But I am still all in on Atlanta. And that loss to Kansas City, which shouldn't have been a loss, but we don't have to talk about that right now, made me even more resolute in my thinking. So give me Atlanta. And with the bronze lock of the week, you will eat those 1.5 points. Moving on, we'll go to Cincinnati taking on the Carolina Panthers. This is another lock of the week with the Suck It Carolina lock of the week. Yeah, I know they won this last week, and I know this is a revenge game, technically, for Andy Dalton coming in and getting to play his former team at home now in Carolina. And it's a short week for Cincinnati, but by God, that Cincinnati offense, it cooked. It did really, really well. And Andy Dalton is not Jaden Daniels, so he is not going to be able to rush for whatever yards that he needs to do. He's an old man. The Red Rocket is a great quarterback. Don't get me wrong. Always love the Red Rocket. But against this Cincinnati defense, it's weird to say that Andy Dalton's playing them. But yeah, I will take Cincinnati all day. And with the Suck It Carolina lock of the week, bet that game. We move on to the LA Rams going to the Chicago Bears in Chicago. And once again, this is another lock of the week, folks, because I know they are injured as heck, and I don't know how exactly the Chicago Bears are favored in this game. I know they're at home, and I know that when the Rams went on the road to the Cardinals, they got blown out. That was a division game. That's a totally different bag of snakes. And I'm sorry. Matthew Stafford has been carving up the Chicago Bears for the past decade, basically, at this point. So, no. Give me Matthew Stafford and the LA Rams. And with the silver lock of the week, once again, you get points in this game. You're getting +3. Matthew Stafford isn't hurt, folks. I know the rest of the team is hurt, but Matthew Stafford and Kyron Williams isn't. So, you know what? Don't fuck with that. Roll with it. Give me the Rams. Next, we go to, at noon still, the Minnesota Vikings traveling to the Green Bay Packers. I this game troubled me. Troubled me a lot. I love everything about what the Vikings are doing right now. Honestly, they're a scary team that we didn't talk enough about when we were doing our preseason picks. I said they have a lot of talent on offense. I did not respect that defense though. And I mean, they have so many playmakers on that defense. They just keep producing. I don't These guys, as Tom Grossi says, are the purple incarnation of Satan. And they're going to lose this week, though. With the Emerald Lock of the Week, give me the Green Bay Packers. I will eat those points because, you know what? They're at home. And if Jordan Love plays, it is definitely over. And even if Malik Willis plays, I think they have a shot. I don't know. This Packers team, I think they are really good. And I'm not even a Packers fan. I just think this Packers team has a lot of things going for them. This offense is absolutely stacked. And every week that progresses, this defense seems to get better. I don't know if I have them winning the Super Bowl or anything like that, but I do think this Packers team is one of the best in the league. And Minnesota is also not one of the best in the league, a good to great team, but they are finally going to lose their first game of the year. Next, we go to the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Houston Texans. And give me Houston. I really have nothing much to say about this game. I am all out on Jacksonville. And I know that Houston lost to Minnesota this last week, but shit happens. So big bounce back for the Houston Texans. And Jacksonville, it's time to start reassessing everything. Next, we go to the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Indianapolis Colts. Oh, this game hurts. This game is I'm gonna. It's not a lock, and it probably will be wrong. And my brain is telling me that I shouldn't do this, but my heart, it really says I believe in this Indianapolis Colts team. I really do. And it's not that I'm looking down on this Pittsburgh Steelers team, which is clearly far better than any of us were giving them credit for. But hey, Justin Fields, we told you guys so many times the Bears screwed up trading him. They should never have gotten rid of Fields and should have just rolled with him and taken all of these picks. If Fields had a Dunze and, but neither here nor there. Give me the Colts in this game. I'm not happy about it. Richardson is making me look a little foolish. So I want you, Richardson, to step up. But Jonathan Taylor, he is not making me look like a fool because he is still a beast in this NFL. I know this Pittsburgh Steelers defense is nothing to joke about, and I am terrified of this. But once again, it's not a lock, but this is with my heart, not my head. And I'm sorry about this, but I am going to take the Indianapolis Colts. Next, still at noon, we got the Denver Broncos taking on the New York Jets. And yes, give me the New York Jets. I know that Bo Nix actually finally, delivered in a game. But nope. Jets are on a long rest. They played this last Thursday. So Aaron Rodgers gets to sit and just chill. He's not going to screw up like Baker Mayfield and the rest of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did this last week. So I just don't have a lot to say about this. So give me the Jets. We're moving on. Next game, the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You all know where I'm going with this game. Come on. I am still all in on Baker Mayfield. I know they lost. I don't care. I really don't. Give me a Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win this game against Philly. That Philly defense looked legit against the New Orleans Saints in New Orleans. I really can't fault them in any way. But Tampa Bay is not going to make that many mistakes again, knock on wood, I hope. And Baker Mayfield, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Bucky Irvin, the rookie running back now, who apparently might dethrone their current guy, whose name I can't think of right now. I don't think they have two bad games in a row. I don't love their coaching staff, and I've said it multiple times over. I don't think Tampa Bay wins this division. I don't think they're a playoff team, but I think they're a very, very tough, very strong team. And I love me the cockroach, Baker Mayfield. So with the golden lock of the week, I will take those 2.5 points, and I will be taking Tampa Bay. Next, we go to the Washington Commies taking on the Arizona Cardinals. And this is my last chance lock of the week because the Cardinals are favored by -3. And you know what, Cardinals? You put the absolute shit to the Los Angeles Rams, and you've kind of shit the bed in the other two games you've had. So you know what? This is a non-division foe, and if you can't win this game, then you know what? I might be all out on the Arizona Cardinals because they are a very, very good team, and I know that Trey McBride will most likely not be playing this game since he's entered the concussion protocol, but they have more than enough different receivers and other options on offense. So that, while he is phenomenal, that should not cook your goose, if you will, for the Arizona Cardinals. Give me the Cardinals to win this game. And also, once again, with my last chance lock, eat those -3 points because they have to win this game, right, folks? They are playing the Washington Commanders on a short week. And I know the Commies just look great against Cincinnati. But Cincinnati's defense is not very good. And also, it's a short week. And they're going to be very high after that win. And I don't know. I just got a feeling again. So, the last chance lock, give me the Arizona Cardinals. Moving on, we have my New England Patriots taking on the San Francisco 49ers, coming off of a loss to the LA Rams in San Francisco. Yeah, San Fran's already favored by 10 in this game. The Patriots look like I thought the Patriots would look like on Thursday. And it's a bad thing, yes, but it is what is expected. Our offensive line is not where it should be. There is so many pieces missing on multiple fronts in the offensive scheme. I'm not all out on Jared Mayo. I think that Mayo is a good coach, and that with a little time and the fact that Robert Kraft apparently picked him years ago to be the next head coach, it's going to be fine in the next 5 to 7 years, hopefully. But right now, it's real bad. And the San Francisco 49ers coming off of a loss at home. Oh, this is rough. This is a bad spot for the Patriots. And I will be taking the San Francisco 49ers. I'm going to hope on a wing and a prayer that somehow by reverse psychology, the Patriots win this game. But yeah, give me the Niners. Next, we go to the Kansas City Chiefs traveling to the Los Angeles Chargers. You know where I'm going with this, folks. I know Diesel is picking the Kansas City Chiefs. And this is the heart lock of the week. Makes no sense. They're plus 8.5. I know Justin Herbert is not going to play in this game. And Kansas City's defense has been playing so good lately. But I don't know. Once again, Matthew McConaughey style, just I just have the feeling. You know, I love my boy Tay Taylor Heinicke coming into the game. And J.K. Dobbins, like, the Kansas City Chiefs are by far beatable. And one of the least penalized teams in the NFL is the Los Angeles Chargers. And if you take the Zebras out of the game, the Kansas City Chiefs are probably 1-2. So, with that logic, I know it's psychotic. Once again, my brain is telling me crazy. My heart, though. Heart lock of the week. Give me those LA Chargers to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Next, we go to the Cleveland Browns taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. And yeah, give me the Las Vegas Raiders. This is another angry game. I think this is a very low-scoring game. But I think that Gardner Minshew, which I love me some Gardner, but we saw who Gardner Minshew was this last week against the Carolina Panthers. But he's facing Deshaun. I am a terrible, terrible human, Watson. And he's bad at football. He's just bad at football now, folks. I don't truly understand how you can go from being so great or so poor at the thing that you have been doing your entire life. But he did. He has proved that you taking a year off, or he just, I don't know. I legitimately, I don't understand the fall of Deshaun Watson. I know that he's a bad person, like personal life, like all of these things off the field, but his fall as a football player is just, it's undescribable. It doesn't make any sense. There's so many quarterbacks who just grew and grew and grew, and he was so good. There was a moment where he might have been the greatest quarterback in the NFL, and to where he is now is such a ridiculous fall. It boggles the mind. But yes, give me the Las Vegas Raiders in a bounce back situation. I think this game is kind of boring as hell, but you know, for Raiders fans, it'll be fun. Maybe Max Crosby just breaks, Deshaun Watson's leg or something. Who knows? Moving on to Sunday Night Football. We have the Buffalo Bills taking on the Baltimore Ravens. And with the Raptor lock of the week, yeah, give me those Baltimore Ravens. I know Diesel, I assume, said he has now reenacted his don't pick against Buffalo rule, because by God is that team hot AF. But for those first 3 quarters of that Dallas game, that was the Baltimore team that we need to see every single week. And, this game might get close in the 4th quarter, but it is in Baltimore. And I do think that in a little way, Baltimore might have been looking past Dallas, because Dallas is not Dallas this year. And I have to give credit to Diesel for knowing that. But I think that Baltimore comes out here and hands Buffalo their first loss of the year, because, no one's going to win every game. That's just the way it is. And people got to lose. Baltimore definitely had this game circled on their calendar. Give me, with the Raptor lock of the week, the Baltimore Ravens. And I will eat those 2.5 points, because it is probably going to be a field goal game. And don't get me wrong, Bass is good. And Tucker might be on the back 9. But every day of the week, I will still take Justin Tucker. So they're going to win the game by 3 points or more for sure. Moving on to another doubleheader on Monday Night Football, which there's a whole bunch this year, and I don't really understand why, but whatevs. Firstly, we have the Tennessee Titans taking on the Miami Dolphins. And in a weird situation, when I looked up these lines, for once, this is a pick'em game. You don't see them a lot, but every once in a while it happens in the NFL. And with a pick'em game, I am also going to give you a lock for this game. So with a bonus Monday Night Football lock and also my pick, Diesel, give me the Miami Dolphins at home because I truly don't know. I don't know who's going to play quarterback for Miami, but I truly believe more in their skill position players than the Tennessee Titans because, by God, that Tennessee Titans team is weird. It's really weird. There's so many different pieces that seem like they should be good, but they're not. They're not good at all. They're really bad. And with that, I can't pick the Tennessee Titans, especially on the road in Miami. I don't know. It's another probably my chest talking and not my brain, but I'm going to take the Miami Dolphins. And finally, with probably the game of the week, just because of how these games always play out. They have some kind of weird chemistry between the two of them. We have the Seattle Sea Chickens traveling to the Detroit Lions. And boy, howdy. I want to take Seattle here. I really do. I really do. Even though I don't. Is Diesel taking Seattle? I haven't watched. Okay, folks, this is one of those things where I have to pull the curtain back. I have not watched Diesel's picks. I have no idea what he is picking. And obviously, I am far in the shitter right now because I have not done well so far this year with picks, just like no one has, besides Diesel, who's ahead of me. And so, did he pick Detroit or did he pick Seattle? Because this is the truest sense of a coin flip game. I'll tell you right now, with a Monday Night Football lock of the week, take the over. Because I know that both of these defenses are good, but weird shit happens between these two teams. So I think some points are scored. Oh, man. All right. I am going to take... Give me Seattle. Give me Seattle. I don't like it. I hope Diesel took Detroit so that we have difference on this one. But, I don't like this at all. He probably took Seattle as well. But I'm going to take Seattle. I think that, once again, I think Detroit has a massively rough schedule. And that game against Arizona was rough. They lost a lot of players. They have so many people now on IR. Give me Seattle. Ugh. All right, though. That was our picks. I am sorry, folks, for the kind of shoddiness of this edit and also the fact they're just thrown together. But once again, I am on vacation, as you can see around me. And next week, I don't know. We might be back to normal, but probably not. We're probably going to do this again next week. So in 3 weeks, no, in 2 weeks, we'll be back to normal. But with that, make sure you are commenting, sharing, subscribing. Throw down in the comments why you, what your best vacation was. Or, tell me something about the NFL. But I want to know about your vacation. Diesel might have said something else. With that, though, as I always like to do when I get to close out the show, I'm going to steal my co-host line and say, let's watch some football.
This has been a Visionaries Global Media production. Visionaries Global Media, envisioning excellence on a global scale.